to have the opportunity to present on ensuring ethical standard in psychedelic research. Can you take this? No? No, it's okay, thank you. Presenting on ensuring ethical, ensuring ethical standard in psychedelic research, focusing on insights from Horizon Europe funding program. So we'll explore some of the unique ethical challenges in psychedelic research due to psychedelics' effects on consciousness and mental health, and we'll see how Horizon Europe framework could guide us in maintaining ethical standard. Why is this so important? Because Horizon Europe is the main funding program within EU for research and innovation, and today's discussion about ethical standards will, for instance, directly apply to projects such as PSIPAL, which has been financed under Horizon Europe for a 4-year psilocybin clinical trial in palliative care. In palliative care, yes. Moving to specific ethical challenge, one key challenge is for sure ensuring participants' safety in altered states of consciousness due to the intrinsic features of the compounds we have been talking so far. So to address this, enhanced therapies, training, and follow-up safety protocols are crucial. In addition, foreseeing the presence of an independent observer per session and also a trusted person to support could also add to managing additional potential risk. Informed consent, then moving ahead, is a general ethical challenge in clinical trials involving human participants, but here it can add another level of ethical complexity due to the deep psychological and physical effects of psychedelic on cognitive function, which require participants to fully understand upfront the transformative nature of the experience and all the risk involved in such experience. Legally speaking, General Data Protection Regulation and Article 29 of Clinical Trial Regulation, which is the 536 of 2014, actually provide that consent should be free, explicit, written, and could be withdrawn at any time. However, as per tailored mitigation strategy in research with psychedelics, we should ensure that consent is ongoing, meaning that it doesn't need to be established just up front, so at the beginning of the study, at the beginning of the session. This need to be, participants need to have the control on their involvement, so it's important to establish, for instance, up front some implement clear, understandable consent process through stop, word, gestures, and so on. And maybe the presence also here of a trusted person could help also interpreting the feeling. What is also important, it's in the follow-up session where some vulnerability can also emerge. Moving ahead, let's precise that most of the time participants to this clinical trial, most of the time, not always, are a vulnerable population, vulnerability due to mental health and health issues. So to safeguarding this group, reinforcing protective measures, such providing dedicated staff support and personalized risk assessment and monitoring process is crucial. In addition to the ethical challenges discussed, we also may encounter ethical consideration while speaking about diversity and inclusion, meaning that here population can have different beliefs, practice, background. So what is important for a therapist is to approach them in an effective and respectful way. So the mitigation strategy here will be competence, cultural training for them. Then we do have another challenge here is also the personal experience, gatekeeping barriers for therapists. meaning that here the ethical challenge is to prevent that personal experience with psychedelics become kind of a pre-requirement for therapists in such situations. So to maintain this profession open and inclusive, it's important to focus on skills and qualification to manage this sensitive situation. And then ethical challenges come also when we speak about reparation, equity, and respect. Also because among psychedelics there are substances, as been mentioned today, like psilocybin and ayahuasca, which are central to indigenous sacred and healing practice. Therefore, relying for research on this knowledge could challenge the involvement of this community and can also impede benefit sharing practices. So it's important in this sense. What comes in help and plays a crucial role is the Nagoya Protocol, which promote and implement benefit sharing practice, also prevent exploitation of these communities' knowledge. Now let's have a look on Horizon regulation. Let's see how Horizon address ethics in research, basically under Article 19 of Regulation 695 of 2021. Basically, it's required that all projects uphold human rights protection, safeguarding privacy and data protection for participants, non-discrimination, and mental and physical integrity. Always under Horizon, ethical appraisal process is a cornerstone for responsible research, and it's basically carried out in 3 key stages. We are not talking extensively about that. Well, we just can mention that the screening, it's the first phase of the ethics issue, and it's aimed to identify serious and complex issue. The ethical assessment 1 consists in a deep scrutiny by a panel of experts of this complex and serious issue, and there is also the appointment of an ethics advisor and ethics committee. It's important to point out that research involving psychedelics and human participants directly undergo an ethics assessment phase, and we also might point out that an ethics committee is usually appointed from the outset. Then we have the 3rd phase, which is ethics deliverable. It's about monitoring of the project and consists in report, data protection measure, which will need to be mandatory approved by an ethics committee. Ethical appraisal process doesn't only happen on European Commission and related agent sites. It also happened from the applicant point of view. So the applicant is required to flag some issues in the tables. For instance, there are questions like, are those participants healthy volunteers or patients? Are they able to give consent? And then the applicant needs to show also how he or she intend to address this ethics issue. This is also important for the evaluation of the proposal. After this overview, let's look ahead at how we will shape the future of psychedelic research. So the natural conclusion which stems from this topic today is that uphold ethical standard is crucial for participant safety and scientific integrity. Then, given that ethics is not just about a set of guidelines to follow, but is basically a complex dimension of human behavior, interdisciplinary collaboration among researcher, policymaker, and regulator, it's absolutely crucial, and it's needed to address misinformation surrounding psychedelics and societal and regulatory changes. Let's say that on one side, developing flexible framework and strict safety protocol can somehow prepare us for a future in which our healthcare system can somehow integrate psychedelic-assisted therapy. I hope that this presentation provided with some insight on psychedelic research, trials, and Horizon Europe, and thank you for the attention.